Hello everybody. I'm here to speak to you about something very important to me in my life, which is playing guitar and the values that it's taught me. I know it sounds stupid to say that I've learned life lessons from a plank of wood with strings attached to it, but it's true. I started playing guitar at 11 years old, so I've been playing for 13 years now, on a total whim. There was no dramatic story, no one died, and I inherited some sick axe. I started playing on a £50 Asda Fender Strat knockoff, which sucked, and I couldn't play guitar really for the first couple of years. But I've been playing in bands for a while now, and I've made some lifelong friends due to the art, so I'm putting this together as When I first started learning guitar, I was terrible, as any beginner should be. I could barely get a clear note off the fretboard, and everything had to be learned like 3 times over just because the notes wouldn't stick in my brain. Also, it hurts your fingers at first, depending on your string gauge. I was using Ernie Ball Power Slinky for the first 4 years of learning, and that's pretty thick for a starter, and it made it so that my left-hand fingertips are callous as hell, and I can touch really hot stuff and not get burned for 5 seconds, which is kind of cool. Anyway, something about the perceived challenge, almost impossibility of self-learning in this way really drove me to keep going, to see how far I could take things. And what this showed me was that sticking to something like a hobby or an interest is really the vital point to getting better and maintaining your enjoyment of said hobby or interest. Something I've thought about a lot recently is that if you pick up a guitar and just play a few notes, they don't have to be clear. By just doing that, you've already surpassed most of the world's population. I think Fender did a study on this, and at that point, you may as well just keep on going. Probably the biggest personal lesson I've learned from playing guitar is the power and importance of taking breaks. In learning, you're gonna hit so many walls and plateaus. Hell, I probably hit a lot more than you will, just because I was self-taught entirely, learning through YouTube and just seeing what sticks. What I'm trying to say is, you're probably gonna get burnt out. Now, I've experienced burnout in many aspects of life, in relationships, in work, in exercise, but importantly, playing guitar has burned me out before. I'd get into this habit of playing for 3 weeks straight every day and then taking 1 week off cold turkey. After every week off, I'd come back with more energy and more drive to keep going, and I'd usually find that my playing would be a little bit faster or a little bit more accurate this time. What I learned from this is that times of rest and putting things down, and it allows your calluses, so to speak, to heal and gives your mind a break from constantly ruminating on what you've learned. And I even briefly taught lessons one-on-one, and I would often encourage my student to take a break, take time away from playing guitar and just put it down. Every time he would come back having either learned a new riff or improved at one we were trying to learn together, or even written something totally original, which is amazing. And I think there's some real value in knowing and remembering, more importantly, that your hobby and recreation isn't a job. You can put it down whenever you want and clock back in whenever you want. When I first started learning guitar, I was in year 7 of secondary school, and I was a little chubby cheeked kid with a buzz cut. And as cool as that image is, I didn't have the widest social circle. It was a bit more of a line. I had friends in school, and I wasn't bullied in any kind of way. I just never saw people outside of school. My day would be wake up, go to school, come home, and sweat Fable 2 on the Xbox 360. And then 1 year into playing, I played in a school band for some arts assembly type thing. And afterwards I was approached by 2 other kids, one who could play the drums and the other one could play guitar. He would soon be learning bass. Within 2 weeks, we formed a band who were ready to blow up by the age of 15, and own mansions with pools and home studios and never have to work a day in our lives. My point is, it gave me something social to do, and it gave me an opportunity that I wouldn't have had if I hadn't just randomly picked up an instrument. I'm still in that band and consider my bandmates to be brothers to me, and through playing and going to shows alone, I've made some great friends in the scene with people that I never would have crossed paths with otherwise. So I guess what this video is trying to say is you should pick up a guitar from your nearest supermarket and make horrible music, get rich, and make loads of hot and successful friends who love you. Or you can learn to skate, or dance, or run, whatever you want. Thank you.